The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We have a presentation today from RAD on their Airmux series of radios. Just to give you a bit of kind of organization instructions, during the webinar, everyone's going to be muted. However, if you have any questions, you can submit them via the GoToWebinar console, and we'll address them throughout the webinar or at the end, depends on what we think is the best place to address a question. And there were a few questions that were submitted when people registered, and we're going to address those as well. We are also recording this webinar, so it will be available afterwards for viewing, and you'll receive an email with a link to the recording. I am now going to hand the reins over to Cody Cochran, my colleague who's based in Calgary, who will do a brief introduction to Alliance and to the topic. Over to you, Cody.
Thanks, Lisa. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to join us this afternoon. We know time is the best asset we have, so we do appreciate it. Just a quick introduction to myself. Cody Cochran here. I'm an account manager based out of Western Canada. I currently reside in Calgary, Alberta. I handle all of Western Canada. We have a good webinar coming up here for you guys today. I've personally worked with RAD and the Airmux radios, not only on the sales side here at Alliance, but I've had the privilege of working with them on the integrator VAR side as well, which is where I came from. Great for both ends, very solid product on the point-to-point side, point-to-multipoint, and also their mobility technology, which we'll be getting into, which is very exciting. Before we get going with Edgar, Mendez, and Al Schaefer, who are going to be doing the presentation for RAD, I'm just going to do a quick overview of Alliance for anybody who might not be familiar with us, and then we'll get things started here. Alliance Corporation, basically we are a value-add wireless distributor. What you're seeing on screen now is how we break the business up. Wireless products, which is where I mainly focus. That's broadband, RF-related products. We also have a wide variety of indoor and outdoor DAS solutions. We also do supply chain services, which I'll get into in another slide here. And we've also, within the last 3 years, we do complete fiber offerings now that can be completely customized. We have 2 clean rooms, one in Mexico and one in Eastern Canada, where we do all of our own work. Any type of fiber, any type of application, if it's fiber related, we can do it. We also, on the infrastructure side, all the products that support the broadband applications, everything from the cabling, all the cable accessories, hangers, ground kits, connectors, etc. So we also do anything on the infrastructure side as well. We are Canada's leading distributor of wireless infrastructure products, as I mentioned. Superior supply chain solutions focused on wireless. We have a world-class product assortment on the infrastructure and the wireless side. We have extensive inventory, and that inventory is carried at stocking locations within Canada, the United States, and Mexico. Expert independent recommendations from industry veterans. We have a lot of experience, many years, all sides on the infrastructure and the wireless side. A lot of sales experience, product managers, top to bottom. We believe we have the most skilled set staff to assist you day to day. Tech support and training, we're always very hands-on. A webinar like this, training sessions, whether it be a private session for your own organization, or we do run open sessions as well. Very customizable as well. And I mentioned the warehouses as well. Just to dab on some technical services that Alliance Corporation can provide, we can do complete microwave path licensing We have a product manager in-house, Andy Moss, who can take this, take the ball, run with it, start to finish. We can assist on network design, radio path surveys. We can also help with product pre-configuration before it leaves our warehouse, if that's a need. Kitting is a big thing that we really pride ourselves on doing. Sometimes we'll see construction companies who have multiple sites, and rather than them having to manage the inventory, we can send out a complete package of exactly what they need at individual sites. We can do tower design, start to finish as well, and tier 1 and 2 technical support, and we can also assist with any RMAs if they happen to come up. We really pride ourselves on our best-in-class broadband solutions. That's everything from the microwave to the unlicensed radios, backhaul transport systems, the point-to-point, point-to-multipoint, as I mentioned, licensed, unlicensed frequencies, the mesh outdoor Wi-Fi technology, all the towers. We can do the steel as well, and as well we can help with the power. Whether it just be basic power supply needs, or if you need a little more of a comprehensive, complete power solution, UPS, solar power as well. I just want to again say thank you for letting me take the time to do the intro. We really appreciate our friends at RAD hopping on as well. If you can't sit through the whole webinar today, if you have to run out, Lisa, I believe, is recording this and will post it to our YouTube channel. She will also be following up with an email with links to that. And I just left a couple of links as well. You know, we encourage everybody to follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Any way you want to get a hold of us, you know, we're always happy to help. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Edgar and Al.
Thank you, Cody. I really appreciate it for the introduction. I'm here from New Jersey, which is our headquarters for RAD Data Communications. Along with me is Mr. Al Schaefer.
How you doing?
Today we're going to be presenting our Airmux solution, our product portfolio, and we've been doing this for many years. As Cody mentioned, we are really good partners with Alliance and Alliance partners. What we're going to cover today is pretty much solutions for point-to-point, point-to-multipoint, mobility, and other features that we have to help you do better business in those arenas. So let's go dive into the applications and products. In terms of products, we have the Airmux 400 products. Those are the point-to-points, and this is what we're going to cover here. We can go up to 750 meg of bandwidth.
Is that half duplex or full duplex?
That's a good question, Al. This is going to be aggregate throughput. So everything that we're going to cover here is going to be aggregate throughput of bandwidth. And in regards to that, so we're going to be doing what we call the Airmux 400 LC. The LC is pretty much a low capacity bandwidth between 10 to 25. And we can upgrade that device from 25 up to 50 or 100 meg aggregate throughput. Also, we can combine Ethernet, native Ethernet, and TDM. And also, we can have other solutions into the product.
Okay.
In regards to distances, we go up to 120 kilometers. So it's about good 50 to 70 miles.
Okay.
And we are going to be doing different frequencies into the product. So we have multi-band radio that we carry different frequencies. This product, and I know there's a lot of questions between the Airmux 400 LC compared with the Airmux 200. We're no longer making the Airmux 200. The Airmux 200, just to go back in time, used to be 18 meg of throughput, and it used to be dedicated in frequencies. So there was very limited in bandwidth and limited on frequencies. So we came out with our portfolio for Airmux 400s, which now you have the ability to do first multiple frequencies. Second, you can have a spectral analyzer built into the product and more features into it.
And this also supported the MIMO technology.
Correct. We also have a product called the Airmux 400L that allows you to do up to 50 meg, and it can go from 50 meg to 100 or 200.
Okay.
And also we have the Airmux 400 that is 200 meg, but allows you to do just 200 meg only. So you can actually combine the Airmux 400L and the Airmux 200. The Airmux 400L allows you to do grow as you go. So you can start with 50 meg, and purchasing a license, you can go from 50 to 100, 200.
Gotcha.
We have two new products, and the products are the Airmux 400P and the Airmux 400H. So we're going to dive into those products. In terms of our solutions highlights, we use, you can do telnet, you can do CRC connections. We are FIPS certified 197. We also have HASLOC for fire or other fire
environments.
Exactly, and they're very. All of our products are very good for extreme weather. So they can go from lowest to the highest, especially in Canada.
Gotcha.
In terms of link components for all point-to-point radios, we have pretty much what we call the PoE or the indoor unit. This is Ethernet in, Ethernet out. It can be powered by AC or DC.
Okay.
And from the PoE or the indoor unit goes a cable, which is called the cable PoE, that powers the outdoor unit. This outdoor unit can go, the cable can go from 25, 50, 75, or 100 meters up to the outdoor unit. In there, the ODU can be integrated or connectorized that you can connect it into external antenna.
So the radio sits on the tower.
Exactly. Or in the pole and the rooftop.
Okay.
But the ability to have the antenna, we guarantee that it's a dual polarized antenna, so it can give you the better performance for MIMO. And at the other end will be the same. We also suggest to have lightning protectors, which we also offer really cost-effective solutions, like lightning protectors that protects both the integrated, the indoor units as well as the outdoor units.
Correct.
Looking at the right side, you have a picture of a PoE, which is like a brick, look like it can be AC or DC for power. You also have indoor units that can do Ethernet with 2 Ethernet ports, fiber, and other connections. You have also alarm relays, dual power supplies. But these indoor units, 19-inch, can be also come with ordering option with TDM ports.
And how many TDM ports do we support?
So it can go from 2 all the way up to 16. So you can have 2, 4, 8, or 16.
Great.
Now, we also have a new indoor unit called the Indoor IDU-H that allows you to collect in a central side up to 6 PoE connections, so 6 radios. Into this unit, you have your 2 Ethernet ports or fiber connections.
Okay.
This is a passive device. Doesn't have VLANs in anything in there, so it's not a switch. It's just a collector of PoEs or an aggregation PoEs in a central site location.
So I don't need to put 6 individual PoEs at the bottom of the tower. I can use this to support 6 radios.
Exactly, and the form factor is AC or DC. Now, since we introduced 2 new products, so we had the line of the Airmux 400 LC for low cost. We had the Airmux 400L and the 400. They all do TDM and Ethernet. We introduced new products that can do Ethernet only. So this is the Airmux 400P, which is Plus, that allows you to do up to 250 meg of bandwidth.
That's more than the 400 does.
That is correct. But again, it's only Ethernet, no TDM.
Gotcha.
Now, the distance today is limited up to 40 kilometers. So it's not like the other one, which is 120 kilometers.
Right.
So that's the only difference. But at the beginning of next year, we're going to be introducing the Airmux 400P with the long range as the regular 400s.
Okay.
But the bandwidth is incredible. So in here, you can also do, we also have new GPSs, we have new devices. And now this new hardware included in the Airmux 400s, the latest hardware, you don't require hub synchronization units because it's based on software.
Right.
So the device, you don't require external device to synchronize antennas. Everything is with Ethernet. So that's actually a plus for all of the radios. Features on the Airbus 400P, again, it's Ethernet only, but you have the ability to do from 128 AES, which comes with all of the products. But you can actually get an upgrade license key to do AES to 56. So now you have more security. Now, the radios right now can do all the way up to 2X, 3X, 4.9, 5X, but also we support the upper band channels on the 3X frequency.
Okay.
So this is a new frequency that came out for the FCC and the IC Canadian regulations that allows you to do up to 40 megahertz channels.
Okay.
Now, we have a new product, which is the Airmux 400H. The 400H allows you to do up to 750 meg. So wow, now from 250 meg, we're going up to 750 meg. So how are we doing that?
We're using the 80 meg channel bandwidth to do that.
Exactly. So now we have, in terms of bandwidth, the modulation that we use is now 40 megahertz channels can give you up to 350 meg, and 80 megahertz channels can give you a 750 meg. Now, if the distance is proportional for the bandwidth?
It's inversely proportional to the bandwidth.
Exactly,
So
and that's for any radio.
Right. The longer the distance, the less bandwidth you're going to get.
Exactly, but if you have a good, application for 2, 3, 4 miles, this radio will give you close to 750 meg.
I have used it recently in one of my applications.
Excellent. Now, this radio, again, also just like the Airmux 400P, is Ethernet only. Okay? Now, doesn't mean that we don't have to backhaul it with all the products, but it's Ethernet only. In terms of, we can do integrated antennas, we can do connectorized, and these products use all the Airmux 400 antennas. So they can share all the antennas, being 2-footers, 3-footers, or dish, or flat panels. Gotcha. And also it comes with different frequencies. And now, the only difference today in the 750 meg, the Airmux 400H, is that we support from 5.1, which is a new frequency, FCC-IC, up to 5.8 gigahertz. Right now, we are working and get the 4.9 and other frequencies. But in terms of bandwidth for 5X, a licensed radio is unbelievable. Okay? And now, in terms of half-life,
okay, it also supports the same indoor units that the 400 did, except for the TDM interfaces. We have the 400 IDU-H that will support up to 6 sites at a single location. We support the GSU. We support hub site synchronization, both Ethernet and hardwired.
And now what I wanted to mention, Al, is we're still supporting in some older device that what we call the hub synchronization device. We'll call it serial, but the new one is called based on HSS over Ethernet.
Right, and that's done through software.
Now, in terms of that, you can have a GPS go directly from the GSU to the indoor IDU-H, plus connected multiple radios being powered by this IDU-H, or POEs if you want to do that.
Right.
So that's the two difference. Also, again, we have certification for FIPS. We'd be glad to give it to you and have more information on government applications.
Okay.
So that's in terms of point-to-point radios.
Gotcha.
Now we can talk about the Airmux 5000, which is a point-to-point solution.
Okay. The Airmux 5000 is our point-to-multipoint portfolio. We have, again, several models in that. The base station itself supports up to 250 meg. Each subscriber can handle up to 100 meg per subscriber. We support both fixed and nomadic applications with this hardware. We can guarantee the bandwidth for each subscriber unit, and we support up to approximately 40 kilometers for the range.
So actually, that's a good point, Al, that you made, that you talk about guaranteeing the SLA. So we guarantee bandwidth per subscriber per remote location.
Right.
So we have a central site solution called the base station. That base station is connectorized, and you may want to have some sectorial antennas.
Correct.
And those sectorial antennas are divided in how many options?
Well, we have three options. We have a 60-degree, a 90-degree, and a 120-degree antenna, depending on the area that you need to cover. If you had an area where you needed a 360-degree coverage, we could put 3 base stations with 3 120-degree antennas, or 4 90-degree antennas with 4 base stations to cover that area, depending on the area that needs to be covered.
And what would I use to power those devices? Do I use PoEs?
No, I'd use the IDUH.
Because now you can put it in the central site and power up to 6 base stations.
That's right.
And plus the GPS.
Right.
Now, sorry.
The subscriber units come in a couple of different sizes depending on your application. We have a 5 meg, a 10 meg, 25 meg, and a 50 meg radio available. And the 50 meg radio can be upgraded to 100 meg.
But those are hardware, dedicated hardware?
They are dedicated hardware, but they can be upgraded.
Also, so if I make a mistake or purchasing a subscriber with 10 meg, can I upgrade it to more bandwidth?
Yes, I can.
How do I go by that?
You get an upgrade kit.
Oh, okay, so it's like a license key?
A capacity upgrade kit will allow you to add bandwidth to that subscriber unit.
Oh, okay, and how does the bandwidth is divided for the base station and the subscribers?
It's done through time slots.
Okay, so you allocate time slots to me as a subscriber, and that will give me the bandwidth that I need.
Right. The more bandwidth you need, the more time slots will subscribe to you.
It's the same principle on the point-to-point. The longer the distance, the lower the throughput?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's good. So, okay. So here's a perfect slide that describes what you were talking about.
This is good. Shows you the components of a multi-point situation. I have several subscribers talking to a base station, and they share the bandwidth. If you have 250 meg bandwidth, and I can split that between 3, 4 sites, 5 sites, I can support up to 32 subscriber units.
32 remote locations.
32 remote locations with 1 base station.
So I can have cameras in each remote location aggregating my bandwidth to the central site location?
Yes, but keep in mind you have 250 meg that you've got to divide up between, so each
so
subscriber.
It's like a pie that I have to divide.
You have to divide that pie up.
What about in terms of if I want to aggregate all that throughput into a central site location?
Then I can use the 400 to take the information from the 5,000 and backhaul it to a central location.
But your regular 400 supports up to 200. Which product should I use?
Well, you can use the 400
Therefore,
or the 400H.
Or the P, right?
Or the P.
Because it's 250, and if you want to aggregate that into a 250 with the P or the H will be the perfect solution.
Well, the application I was just working on, I had 3 base stations with 250 meg each. I backhauled it with the H,
400H.
with the 400H to support the more bandwidth.
Okay. In terms of antennas on the subscribers or the remote locations, are they come in different form factors?
Yes, they come with, you can use the same antennas as the 400.
Oh, if they're connectorized, I can use the same antennas of the Airmux 400, so
Exactly.
They don't have any antennas for 5,000?
No, you can use the same antennas.
Okay, perfect. And then they integrated or connectorized?
The only one is not that way is the base station, which is the
central side.
The central side, which spreads the...
Which makes sense because you have to put a sectoral antenna in order to spread the information.
Gotcha.
Okay, and I can see here that also another form factor to power the units is also PoE if you have one.
If you have one at that location, use the PoE. If you have many, you can use the IDU-H.
Can we use other indoor units to power this device?
It only supports Ethernet.
Okay, so the IDU-H with TDM will not support this product.
Right.
We power this product. It had to be either the PoE or the IDU-H.
Right.
Okay, I understand.
Not the IDU TDM.
Okay. Neither the all indoor units like the Airmux 200.
No.
Okay,
no.
so it had to be the new PoE and the IDU-H.
And here's a perfect example of a site that has 2 base stations and supporting 6 subscriber units, and with the IDU-H to power and supply Ethernet to each base station.
I noticed that you have a dual power supply.
Yes, that's for redundancy.
Okay, so I can have DC dual 2 times or DC AC.
That's correct.
Or AC AC. In terms of AC, how do I do the AC?
You have to have an adapter because
Okay.
the input there is of neg 48 volts.
Okay.
We have a new product called the Airmux 5000i. It's the base station is different than the regular base station. This uses the beamforming antenna. It has a better, a more robust connection to your subscriber units. And we have a slide a little further down that explains this. It still has the same long range of 40 kilometers. And the subscriber units it supports the same subscriber units as the regular 5000. The 5000i is just a more robust technology for the base station.
Okay, Al, would you clarify also that the Airmux 5000i does not replace the regular Airmux 5000?
That's correct.
Because the Airmux 5000 is for specific applications, where this one has a new option called the beamforming antenna.
Right.
Although the throughput or the aggregate throughput is the same.
That's correct.
Now, does this product support Nomadic solutions?
No.
Okay, so it's another difference in there from the Airmux 5000, regular 5000.
Right. The regular 5000 hardware supports Nomadic. The 5000i does not support Nomadic applications.
Excellent. Now, in terms of this product, we do what we call time division duplex, which is TDD, which means the ability of broadcast and receive synchronized with all subscribers units, so we don't interfere with each other. Now, also the Airmux 5000i supports, like you say, 32 subscribers, but the only difference is that comes with integrated antenna.
Right.
And that's integrated, and so it's not connectorized, it's integrated only, but that antenna is only 90 degrees antenna.
Right.
And also supports different, the same distance.
Correct. And it's the same subscriber units it supports.
Okay.
Okay. This is an example of what the unit looks like. It's an integrated antenna with the radio, and it does the beamforming. That decreases your interference and increases your throughput.
So that word mitigate means it reduces interference.
Right.
So the Airmux 5000i makes possible communications in places where other systems will not work.
That's correct. It will cut down on your interference from other radios that are in the area, and because of the narrow beamforming antenna.
You know, Al, what is important here is we're talking about sub-6 gigahertz, which is pretty much all of our solutions for the point-to-point and point-to-multipoint, including this product. So by talking about sub-6 gigahertz, which is very challenging in environmental unit size, because noise from other radios and other factors, which is very difficult to deliver good information. Now, sometimes, you know, if you want to have, you know, this solution, you know, this will achieve what others cannot do.
That's correct.
Because now, when it's very difficult, this using the beamforming can achieve better solutions.
That's correct. And we have a slide on that.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Is that this one?
That's this slide. It shows you how we actually perform the beamforming to each subscriber unit, which instead of spreading the signal at a 90-degree across the spectrum, it actually, the beamforming goes in and tunes itself to each subscriber unit, giving you a more robust signal and a narrower signal that is less susceptible to interference.
So it's basically a transmitting, I think we're going to go more technical, it's basically a transmitter matrix that gives you a possibility to direct each and every signal per subscriber unit.
That's correct.
This ability to direct the base and the base of that, what we call, is a technology called phase array.
That's correct.
In other words, it builds a constructive waves to a specific subscriber, especially, and like we mentioned before, for near line of sight or non-line of sight.
Yes, it's easier to even bounce around a building to get to a subscriber that you cannot see.
So this law that we give into the application, which we also everything that is between 90-degree sectors. In addition to the beamforming, we provide an extra 14 dBi, which transmit much more information given to the subscribers.
Right, because the standard dBi antenna in the 5000, the sped spectrum, is 13 dBi. This gives you additional gain.
So I guess what it makes this technology good is that we have actually up to a few antenna lobes. So I think it's 4 by 8. So that's what it gives you. 4 times 8 give you the 32.
Right.
Transmitters. Okay, now that's good. Now at the bottom, what's the difference between this 5.8 and 3.5? I think the beam one is 8 degrees with our technology and 5.x, and 15
degrees
with 3x frequencies.
Right.
Okay, excellent.
This gives you a little idea here when we're doing this with the beamforming antenna. Because of the low interference rate, we can use less of the frequencies available to us and better steer around interference in the on the base stations. So this allows us to reuse frequencies in a 90-degree, so we can cover up to 128 users in a 360-degree area.
So now I understand that we can do up to 1 gig with 4 base stations, and you support up to let's say 32 subscribers. But now we also want to increase subscribers by the end of the year.
By the end of the year.
Okay, so by the end of the year, we're going to go from 32 to 128 subscribers, which
no,
is more
32 to 64.
Oh, 32 to 64. Okay. That's what I wanted to make sure.
Okay, and then of course in the 3.x frequency, we're also going to do the same thing in that.
Okay.
This gives you a little idea of how the beamforming works using the TDD synchronous, so it can coexist with different base stations and not interfere with each other.
So in terms of bandwidth and interference, how the product readjusts in order to overcome interference?
Well, the beam is much narrower on the with the beamforming antenna.
So he will preserve the bandwidth and everything. Okay. Good. What about here?
Here we have an application where we have multiple sites from a base station talking to a remote base station, and each base station is supplying 250 meg to its subscribers.
Where we can see these situations in cities or
cities, utilities, for
when they have many radios, very populated.
Very many radios that are using for video
Okay.
surveillance,
Okay.
and if you've got a lot of feeds coming back to a central location.
So this product will be the best solution for it.
Yes.
Okay. And here's a perfect example of what you were talking.
Yes, we have the IDU-H sitting there with the supplying Ethernet and power to each of the base stations, supporting a 360-degree area of coverage.
Now towards the switch or to the service core, if I want to backhaul that information 1 gig that are coming here, I can use the Airmux 400H, right?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. Right, so what's the main differentiators in this new product?
The main differentiator is the high interference immunity that's similar in a point-to-point application. We have the highest in the industry of throughput in real operation. It optimizes your frequency reuse. For example, at the base station, we can reuse the same frequencies at 90-degree differences. We have a robust operations in near line of sight and non-line of sight applications, simplified network planning, and we can also secure the bandwidth to each subscriber unit, increase the capacity, and decrease the latency.
Excellent. Also, I want to encourage everyone out there, if you're looking to get more information on this product, let us know. You can contact Alliance or Alliance will contact us. The flow of information, we'll be happy to send it to you. This is a product that we believe it's going to be one of the best in the market right now. So again, here you can see different applications we support for enterprise, Wi-Fi, public government, public safety, municipalities, energy. So the verticals out there, there are many.
Yes. I just did a SCADA one with the 5000i. Very low bandwidth, but it was a very reliable network.
Okay, so up to now we've been talking about the Airmux 5000, the 5000i, both to be being point-to-multipoint, but one to be more critical for situations with ancillary interference. And now going back to the Airmux 5000, which is a product that can work on either fixed, which you had your central site, your base station, and you had your remote locations called subscriber. We talk about those. And this product can actually give you an option to do Nomadic. So Nomadic applications, and we have plenty of those out. You can use the Airmux 5000 hardware, and it's pretty much for vehicles that require being in a being a mobile, stopping and getting service. So you move, it's not getting service, but when you stop, you get the service because you can either point the antenna or you can have a Omni antenna to do that service.
Right. So this works real nice for like a news van, for example. It would set up at a location, align the antenna to the base station,
And broadcast.
and broadcast it.
Okay, perfect. It doesn't have to be that because I've seen applications where you have like in a mine and you can you can move, stop, and point that information. So it's many other applications you can do.
Right.
So it's again utilizing the Airmux 5000 platform in movement, stopping, and getting service. Now, Bob, what about when I require to have constantly movement?
Okay, then we have the 5000 mobility, which is different hardware, but it also supports the vehicle in motion.
Okay, so we have a new hardware for Airmux 5000. So we have the 5000, the 5009. Now we have the Airmux 5000 mobility. And the ability of these is to have a connection while in motion.
That's correct.
So now, what do we use? Is everything different? The subscribers are different, or what do we do? So in terms of that, we do pretty much a base station called mobility. And we also have what we call subscribers. But the subscribers, what you want to connect them is either special vehicles where they're going to require Wi-Fi,
right?
Or you're going to have video. And the subscribers allows, called the MBEs, allows it to have that services, right?
Right.
So you can actually, for police, you can actually have video on board, but because you have a Wi-Fi access in the indoor units, you can come out of the car and still get connected to the Wi-Fi access and transport video over to the central site.
So these officers that are carrying these body cameras can transmit that video back to the dispatch center.
Oh, that's excellent. So in here I can do different omni antennas or different options. Now, how do I do in terms of base stations in a city? Do I have to have many base stations?
Yes, you have to have base stations placed strategically throughout the area that you want to cover.
And, okay, so the way that we do it is like you have your cellular or your cell services, but we do handover.
Right.
So you may have a stronger signal from the near base station, but yet you may still connect it to the other base station that is longer. And while you do the motion on going from base station to a base station, you're going to be doing the handover between one base station to the other. So you're never going to be dropping.
Right. So I don't lose the information when I do between base stations.
That's great. And what's the convergence time?
It's under 50 milliseconds.
Oh, less than 50 milliseconds. Oh, great. Okay, so that's the mobility, so you can get the signal. So let's talk about some applications that we have in here. For example, we talk about here applications like for corporate access, where you have, and this is pretty much what you did before, is you have a central site base station talking to subscribers. Well, actually, the subscribers are talking to the base station. So you got the office where they require 30, 40 meg of bandwidth, and that bandwidth is going to be sent to that base station with that information. And once they get it, they can transport that over the service provider, which is backhaul by a point-to-point.
Right. Oh. So we have a mixture of 400s with a 5,000 application.
Okay, that's good. So we also have another application for connecting communities or rural applications. I know you live in a rural application, what we call boondocks, and pretty much you have, actually here it's more easier because there's not many wireless radios out there, so the connection will be nice. You can utilize different frequencies.
We use smoke signals.
Oh, you do?
Okay.
So at the remote location, you have your subscribers talking to the base station, and you can backhaul it. So it's pretty much the same principle of the other one, depending on the bandwidth. Yeah. Now, here is actually one of the neat applications because this is a safe city applications, which I believe this is one that is more pushed by the government or the government of the USA, Canada, Mexico, that they're required to have security.
Right.
And why is that?
Well, they can monitor peace marches. They can monitor certain areas that are problem areas, and they can backhaul the video all to a central location where they're constantly monitoring the activities in the areas.
So one of the unique solutions on the Airmux 5000 is the SLA. So right. I can give you secured bandwidth to that particular camera. That could be HD or could be any camera. They had to be high resolution cameras, and it's going to be real time.
Right.
And that is going to go to the base station and backhaul it to the point-to-point.
And you may have a camera that's not such a high definition that doesn't need the bandwidth. You can assign less bandwidth to.
Correct. So the ability of assigning bandwidth automatically you can use it over the air because you have on the Airmux manager that you can actually pretty much manage everything.
That's correct.
Okay, that's good. And so let's go to more applications. So also we have oil and gas.
Yep.
So in applications where I need to either connect T1s, we use the Airmux 400. And there's some challenges out there because they require video as well. So this is important to have.
So you can mix the T1s and Ethernet over the same link.
Okay. Now, what if I want to do telemetry, RS-232, or anything that I want to do?
We have products that fit in front of your Airmux that'll give you those interfaces.
So RAD Data Communications is not only a wireless solution company, but we also are a telecom company that allows you to transport other devices over the radios.
That's correct. We have hundreds of different interfaces that we can take over the radio.
So we have a smart channel bank that allows you to do multiple services over the radios.
Voice, data, low-speed data, high-speed data, Ethernet traffic, T1s.
Okay, we're going to be looking into those. How about power stations? I hear that nowadays everything is targeted to power stations. Why power utilities?
They need surveillance cameras at each of the locations to monitor vandalism or terrorist attempts.
Okay, so everything is security nowadays.
Yeah.
So the Airmux will be a good solution. So we also talk about mobility. We have different ways to do mobility. We can do mobility in vehicles, police cars, ambulance, any of those type of vehicles. Now
subways.
Trains. So we can have actually really fast trains, and they can be connected going either above ground or
below ground.
And you can have multiple base stations along the railroad, and they will be covered all the services. What kind of service are we looking to achieve transporting?
Video surveillance, Wi-Fi use on the train.
Okay, so all the Wi-Fi, the messages that go into the train. So yeah, Wi-Fi is one of the things that we do a lot. So the Airmux 5000 mobility would be the solution for that.
That's correct.
So and other things like we do for the Airmux mobility will be what? Boats, ferries, everything in sea, everything in that moves, right?
Right.
Okay. And we're talking about the
Safe city applications.
Safe city applications. So we do a lot of backhaul video from multiple sides or multiple camera sides,
including moving cars.
Okay. So now let me ask you a question: is that your PoE on the Airmux is a standard PoE?
No.
Okay, so you have your own solution for PoE.
That's correct.
So it's not a standard PoE, so you power your radios, Airmux 400s, Airmux 5000s, with your unique solution PoE.
That's correct.
Now, what if I need standard PoEs? I need to connect it to cameras. So I noticed that you have all the products that you can do, like power the Airmux and possible power the cameras.
And also has firewalls and encryption devices within that.
So that's not an Airmux solution, but it's a RAD solution that can be an add-on to the Airmux solution.
Right, that's correct.
And it's called a SecFlow.
That's correct.
Okay, good. Okay, so I've been asked for many of my customers, and you and I, we do these applications of our system engineers group. We do a lot of these applications for transporting voice and systems,
right.
Like boarding systems. Analog to a 204 wire radio.
Right. The push-to-talk radios, we can backhaul that information to a central location for disaster recovery. It's an IPMux 1E that sits behind the radio and gives you your analog interface over Ethernet.
So this solution is to transport legacy TDM, which is now what we're looking at, analog.
Analog.
And analog could be in what forms?
4-wire,
okay,
E&M, or FXS, FXO.
FXS, FXO is your typical telephone
audio
applications. And you dial tone.
Dial tone from one side to the other. what they call ring down circuits, where it's FXS to FXS.
Like the president line kind of stuff.
Yeah, hot wire.
Hot wire, and also ISDN, right? You still support that?
We still support ISDN lines.
So you can support multiple services from these legacy devices, including boarding devices, channel banks, anything that you want to transport over your Airmux 400's product lines.
Right.
So you recommend to have that if you want to do E&M, how many ports?
This particular unit supports up to 4 ports of E&M. But we have the Megaplex that will support up to 40 or 50 E&M ports, depending on how much bandwidth you have available.
And I understand that with these products, in the legacy E&M on audio, you guarantee low latency.
Yes.
Okay, so that's why you can transport all of the devices that are being connected to the E&M audio.
Right.
Okay. What about in here?
Well, this is a term we call pseudo wire, which we're transporting full T1s over a wireless network. We have boxes that'll do that. The Ipmux line will support up to 16 T1s over.
So this will be in case if I already have a radio up there and my customer has Ethernet and I want to connect at a T1, then I can use the device.
You can use this device, that's correct.
Otherwise, if I'm going to do a new application, I can use your Airmux 400 with an IDUE that comes with ETDM ports, right?
Either one.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Now, what about this one? Oh, push-to-talk radio.
Yeah, this is what we talked about before. This is the Ipmux 1E again with push-to-talk radio from extending it over the wireless network.
So I guess in terms of E&M, you can actually transport pretty much a lot of things.
Yes.
A lot of services. A lot of
like modem services.
Okay, that's good to know. Here you talk about your typical FXX and FXO. So I believe on the FXX side, you connect your telephone.
Right.
And is this device called the Ipmux 1E to the right side have a ringer?
Yes, it has a built-in ringer, so you don't need to supply a ringer.
Also, so once if for some reason someone calls me to towards my FXS, my telephone will ring.
That's correct.
Because this power the telephones.
That's correct.
And when I outhook this phone,
I get dial tone from the remote PBX.
From the location A. Okay, so that's pretty much transporting a lease line over our line over the radius.
Right.
When they don't have that ability.
And then also, again, with the same technology, we use that for supporting ISDN, BRI channels.
Do you still have that support? I mean,
Yes, yes.
Although it's very old.
Not many people use ISDN anymore, but we still support it.
Okay, so RAD is kind of a unique company that supports all legacy to transport legacy.
Like me.
Like you, I know. Oh, okay, so you also have serial?
We also have serial. We can do RS-232, V.35, RS-530 interfaces over that same line.
So if I require a minimum of one serial RS-232 port, I can connect it into your radios and send it transparently from one side to the other one?
That's correct.
So at that point, my legacy that I send in, your radios will act like a wire.
Exactly.
So like a crossover wire between the two devices.
That's correct.
Okay, so my information will be preserved.
Yes.
Good. What about here?
Well, this is using the Megaplex at the central location to support many devices, smaller devices at the remote location.
Okay, so you went like in a public safety, I can have the police, fire department, and the EMS connected into one administration building.
That's correct.
Over the radio, so they can have either laptops for data and they push-to-talk radios.
That's correct.
Oh, that's excellent. And SCADA applications as well.
SCADA applications, RS-232 with 4-wire lines back to the remote location, back to a central location, supporting the lease lines and the RS-232.
Okay.
Very popular with SCADA environments.
All right. I guess these are ones are there. How about so we have also a tool, right, that we help our not only alliance but alliance partners if they want us to help in doing a planning.
Right. We have this planner tool. We get the coordinates from the customer of where the locations are, and we can do a site plan and then best pick the proper combination of radios to best fit the customer's application. So when the radios are installed, they can use the planner to actually set the different parameters to get the optimum throughput.
And I know Alliance has that similar tools or the same tool to provide that information to their customers or to the customers that are on the line right now. We just wanted to use this tool to give you an accurate information, because also it gives you all the field material and the terrain and everything.
That's correct. It's a very nice tool. I use it at least 3 times a week.
Wow, that's good. Okay, and what about that?
Okay, this is on our website. Is a catalog for the Airmux that if I'm doing a configuration, I can pull down data sheets for the antenna. I can pull data sheets for the IDUE. So if I have any questions at all about the ports that it supports, or the voltage that it supports, or the size of the unit, the size of the antenna, the beam width, all of this information can be pulled down individually off that site.
So some of this information is what Alliance gets for the customers, and they can provide that information. And the good thing about that is that information is per device.
Right.
So it's not a general data sheet that covers all of the products, but it's per device, so you can get more information out of that.
Right.
Wind low and everything like that.
Yeah.
All right. So I think this is the last slide, Al. Thank you so much.
That's my favorite slide.
Really? Thank you so much. So I want to open the floor for any questions. And Lisa and Cody, thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, guys. Thank you for that excellent presentation. I haven't received any questions. I'm not sure if you addressed these during the presentation or not, but there were a few and people registered.
I did address pretty much all of the questions that were on the email.
So yeah, there hasn't been anything submitted. I guess that means your presentation was very comprehensive. If anyone does have questions after the fact, you think of anything, you know, you have my email. You can just send me an email, and I'll connect you with. Oh, actually, no, there is. Okay, I don't know if that's a serious question. I hope it isn't. Oh, okay, never mind. The question is, what is the URL?
Okay, and the URL for the Airmux catalog. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Actually, it's a good question, and that I will allow Dale Jones to work on that.
If you want to just email it to me, I'll include it in the follow-up email.
I'll be glad to do so. They need to register to our PRN in order to get access to our information, but we'd be glad to help them get access into that too. So it's not a problem. I will send a URL, and anyone that needs access to it, we'd be happy to give it passwords and all that.
And if you needed a request on a certain data sheet before you get the authorization, we can just send it to you directly.
And Al, myself, and another few system engineers that we have in our team, we're happy to serve you 24/7 to any questions, anything, by email. Of course, we work 9 to 5, but we answer our emails a lot. So, but we're here for you. RAD is here for you, and we were happy to work with Alliance.
That's excellent. Thank you both. So just a reminder to everybody who has been on the webinar, I did record this. So if you want to share it with colleagues who may have missed it, you can do that. As soon as I'm able to, I will get the follow-up email out to you with everything, with the link to the recording. And also, if you'd like a copy of the presentation itself, you can just send me a note, and I will send it to you. In November, we're going to hold another webinar with RAD. This one's going to be specifically focused on their products for the utility market. So it's not just going to cover Airmux, it's going to cover a lot of other things. So keep an eye on your email for that. I'll invite everybody who's attended. And thank you again to Al and Edgar and Cody. And we'll see you in November, I hope. Thank you, everybody.
Goodbye.